Hi guys, this is Zoran Productions, aka number 4673, and I am back in Reflections on the River, part 4 this must be, and we're just gonna continue. There was probably a part of me that wanted to be proved wrong. I suppose, all along, a sense of belonging. I wanted to have a rightful place somewhere, where I was not imposing on anyone. I don't want to live on pity, obligation, or the weight to be shouldered. I do not believe I will find that at a palace, not anymore. And so, Sheng, if you would take me on as an apprentice, I would be immensely humbled and grateful. He let out a dry, uncomfortable laugh. My cooking skills may be subpar. You and your fucking words, Shin. I've had enough of you and your fucking words. Excuse me. But I believe I have enough knowledge of medicines and sciences to be a valuable assistant. Well, if you've nowhere else to go, suppose I could use someone to do grunt work that isn't beneath you. If it is not, I will work hard. And you do know I can't afford to pay much, right? Living expenses, no frills, of course. And I guess that's alright with me. But truly, are you sure of this? Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, sure. I'm looking forward to learning new knowledge from you and starting anew. Starting anew, huh? Thought over his words. Oh no, we have to give like fucking life advices. Holy no, I can't do that. Okay. You should never look back on your past. You should never think about it every day. You have to move forward, not look back all the time. But you know how you shouldn't forget it either. You shouldn't forget your past either, because your past is a part of you. It's part of what made you you. So you cannot. So both of these are true. It's good to forge your own path, but you should not discard your past so easily either. So I'm gonna take this one. Hey, don't get me wrong, it's good that you're breaking out of your shell, but you don't have to cut off your family. You could still be wrong about them. Or even if you were right about them, what about your birth parents? For all you know, you could return to your home kingdom in the future. My birth parents traded me for a favor. And well, there's that, but they're still ruling. Or will you have your siblings take over? They might welcome you back with open arms. In any case, guess it'll be convenient having someone to help around. I'm happy to be of convenience then. I stepped outside for a breath of fresh air when I had the chance, and that wasn't until nightfall. Seeing as I had taken on an apprentice, I felt my work appropriate to go over some general guidelines for my work. Sure, he had been helping me, but informally. Now that it was so proper that the king and queen were hearing about it, I felt like I had to actually tell him what's what. And teach the little princeling some general life tips. First of all, when I asked him to go fetch me water for the herb garden, he tried to bring me a bucket from the river. The river! Gods! Where the whole neighborhood emptied their chamber pots. It was like his royal behind had never heard of a well before. Oh, right, that's probably true though. I let out a heavy sigh as I tried my best to shove all the thoughts about apprenticeship from my mind. As I paced back and forth from the rickety wooden walkways, I played a game I often played when I was much younger. Tried to avoid stepping on any cracks in the wood, pretty difficult considering how shittily built the entire structure was. The game was silly, but it was a good way to clear my mind from distractions. His words earlier had struck something in me, and brought back memories of a family I no longer had. I understood him, sympathized with him, and yet I was upset I could no longer use him to get my jewel. Sure, having an apprentice was nice, but you know what would be even nicer? Getting that jewel in my hand. What other options were left to me? The thought of betraying him left a slightly bitter taste in my mouth, but wouldn't the ends justify the means? I was a witch after all. It wasn't like I was particularly popular amongst the rurals to begin with. I had no good reputation to tarnish. It would be fine to go back on my words and promises. I wouldn't be the first. I interrupted my thoughts by a voice. Are you playing a game? What are you doing out here? I was unaware I was still confined in the house. You aren't, but my voice trailed off. This was not a conversation I wanted to have. More to the point, I didn't really fancy talking to anyone at the moment, least of all him. I wanted to thank you again. Sure, yeah. And apologize again. What for? I muddled up your plans quite spectacularly, have I not? The jewel you covered, that is still your priority. Yes. You've always been transparent about your goals. It is admirable, even if your goals are not. Leave it to him to pay me a backhanded compliment. In the time I've spent here, I have plenty of opportunity to think on the matter. I think I've seen this prized jewel before, and I am by no means the one of you adept, but I can tell it contains a tremendous amount of magical power. We do not have magical advisors in the palace, nor have we ever had one. This jewel was not in our possession in my early years at the palace. I would place its arrival at the palace around the time Yanu was born. What I'm getting at is this. Was the jewel crafted by you? I know that the king sought your aid 20 years ago. Yes, that's right. I sealed my magical power into that jewel and loaned it to your parents. They were desperate, and that was the only way I knew to help them. They promised to return the jewel. It was a promise. As I thought. In that case, there's nothing wrong with your goals at all, is there? What? I will aid you in retrieving what is rightfully yours. For what it is worth, I am sorry that our kingdom has let you down. You're kidding. Thanks. This prince is an alright guy, and he was debating whether or not to slit his throat for my jewel. If I may ask you a question, what is it? You sealed your magic power away. Is that why you've been resorting to traps and medicines rather than relying on magic? Yes, it took a lot of magical power to create that jewel. Your face. You what? I caught a glimpse of you back when I was a child, you know, at the palace. Oh? You wore the sacred cloak back then. I could not see your face well, but you haven't aged, have you? Had I not saw you in the past, you do not look old enough to have been an adult from many years ago. I kept some of my magic, enough to sustain my appearance, but not much else, as I figured. It will not be easy, going against the king and queen. But you are set on this course of action, correct? There is no other way to restore your magical power. Yes. We have learned to live without magic. God, so many choices. I don't know, bro. So many important life choices. I've learned to accommodate this lack of power, and it's not entirely intolerable, but magic is my birthright. It's best that I get my powers back. I see. Well, it is late. We should probably retire soon. You can tell me more about the jewel tomorrow, perhaps. Hey, you was the apprentice here. You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. Of course. When I woke up the next day, the prince was already awake. It was a surprise, considering he... Van! Excuse me, someone came to see me. The prince was already awake. It was a surprise, considering how often he slept in. I suppose being a prisoner would make you a little sluggish. Well, whether it was because he no longer had a good excuse or not, I was glad to see he had already started on today's preparations. Good morning. Morning? This is the list you have left on your desk. This list you have left on your desk is accurate, yes? The list of orders for today. Oh, that, yeah. Good, I've begun measuring out herbs for the first customer's order. There's quite a lot to be done today, and I noticed you're running low on some ingredients in your cabinet. Hold on a second. Let me get a cup of tea first. I put her around the whole house preparing some tea. Have you eaten yet? No. What, you already started working already? I know you love being diligent or something, but you can't eat, you know. I'm sure you remember what happened the last time I tried to cook unsupervised. Right, hold on. It didn't take long to rustle up something to eat. I remembered I had prepared some radish cake in advance the day before, so we just had that with tea. A bit more energetic with some food in our stomachs, so at least I felt that way. We made quick work of filling out most of the orders. I guess you were right. I reached into one of the drawers when I usually kept little bulbs, and not one was to be found. Guess it can't be helped. We can't fill that last order without it, so I'll head out to the market. May I come along? You won't stand out in those clothes, though? Will anyone recognize you? I rarely left the palace, so it is not my face that will be easily recognizable. Though no one actually expects to see royalty without at least a dozen of palace guards either. At most, they'll just think I'm some minor noble trying to flaunt my wealth with fleshy robes. Well, guess that's fine then. Just try not to draw too much attention to yourself. You'll get robbed. It is just as well as I packed light when I left the palace, but I do not have many riches on my person. They'll take off your robes right off your back. Oh, I see. The trip to the marketplace took longer than I had expected. I suppose I should have accounted for the prince. I expected he hadn't seen much of how commoners lived, so everything seemed fascinating to him. That or he'd just been let out of captivity and was reveling in his freedom. When we finally made it back into the marketplace, he was still making unnecessary stops to peer into stall after stall. It's kind of like watching a small child. He merely laughed at my statement. If you don't wise up, you're definitely going to get marked. I know you think I'm too formal and serious, but right now you're the one acting like a strict tutor. Sure, get marked if you like, but do it in your own time. Come on, we've got to pick up those lily bulbs. If you insist. Yes, I insist. I immediately felt a little bad at snapping at him. We'll go to the market again. You don't have to get so excited. I suppose you're right. Look, next time I'll introduce you to the author of your favorite book, Ashu. The Ashu? Yeah, of course. Well, his stall is actually just around the corner, but it's not to tell that right now, though. After I had, more or less, forcibly dragged the prince along and purchased the lily bulbs, we're ready to head back home. There are still more order to prepare, and I wanted to be done with work so I could focus on the real important business, squeezing any information he might have on my jewel out of him. So, I didn't really appreciate it when we passed by Neo's vegetable stand and he called up to me. Shen! Come on! I tried to pick up the pace, but Prince lagged behind. Shen! Someone is calling out to you. He grabbed my arm and pointed towards the vegetable stand. Great, thanks. Neo. Little Shang, is that a way to greet someone? Came to the market and didn't even say hello. If I wasn't used to how cold you were, I'd be offended. Well, you do have rather thick skin. You wound me in my thick skin with your words. Anyway, who's this companion of yours? Judging by those robes, he must be rolling in it. Pardon, rolling in what? Coin. He needs coin. And no, don't even think about it, Anio. Think about what? I'm merely a humble vegetable seller. But, you know, come to think of it, I do know of a business opportunity if Fancy Rope over here is interested. There's this prince from a land up north who just needs a bit of money for... He's flat broke, Anio. We stole the ropes off a dead guy. Sure, I believe that. Anyway, Fancy Ropes, who are you? Who are you and why are you hanging around little Sheng over here? I am a friend, I suppose. I've nearly hired a princess. Pull the other one, Sheng doesn't have any friends except me. Barely talks to anyone now, not since Wen left the wee kid all alone. Neo! I tried to get him to stop, but he didn't get my hint, or didn't care enough to stop. Pulling the prince away by his ropes didn't do me any good either. He seemed far too interested in what Neo, stupid blabbermother Neo, had to say. And Neo was going to ruin everything. Sorry, when? Shen's mother. She was kind, witchy, like Shen, but kind. Shen was a lot sweeter when she was around too. You know, I used to think, I used to be kind of like Shen's big brother. Why, I say I was Shen's hero. Hey, Anio, listen, buddy, I'd love to buy these radishes twice for price. Well, why didn't you say so in first place? I begrudgingly hand over double the asking price. It was a complete rip-off considering his radishes were overpriced to begin with, but that was the cost to get him to shut up. Thanks, we'll be going now. Thanks for the patronage. To be sure to come by for some more embarrassing stories about Shen's childhood, Fancy Ropes. He waved us off. I made a mental note to lambaste his vegetables to the entire neighborhood at a later date. The journey home was unusually quiet, even though the prince was silent a silent one when I first kidnapped him. I'd gotten used to his observations and casual questions, so it was a little uncomfortable that he said nothing, but I hoped I could chalk it up to him struggling to absorb the new things he experienced at the market. And I'll end the episode here. Goodbye.